Today, I want to share with you how to take care of your four selves. And you might ask yourself, what does that actually mean? Are you saying that I have multiple personalities? And I say, well, kind of. I mean, it is kind of like that because there are four selves that we don't really think about on a conscious level. We think about all the things we're doing in our lives. We think about how we need a break. We think about how we're hungry. We think about how we want better relationships. We think about things like taking care of your four selves in like this way that's not touchable. Like, oh, I know I need this more, better foods in my life. I know I need different ways to fuel my business. I know I want to spend more time going on date nights, but what does that actually look like when you take it down, cut it down to measurable ways that you can apply taking care of yourself, your four selves? I'm going to tell you what that looks like. So first of all, your four selves are your intellectual self, your spiritual self, your emotional self, and your physical self. Okay, so your four selves. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about what those are and how you take care of each one. But first, what does that even look like? What's your intellectual self? Okay, obviously, your intellectual self is what you think about. Your intellectual self is your business. How you apply all these different things that you've learned, all learning more about how to grow your business. Okay, I know this speaks to you because we're all on the Zoom call because we want to connect well. We want to grow our businesses. We want to do that in organic fashion. And so that is serving your intellectual self. Okay, any action steps that you set up for the week, anything that fuels your business and gets you really amped up is serving your intellectual self. Reading serves your intellectual self as well, but anything that really serves that purpose of growing your business, that's typically your intellectual self. So, and then let's talk about your physical self. This is another easy one to address. Your physical self. Are you working out? Are you exercising your body? Are you fueling your body with the right foods, with water that will serve you? Are you giving your body, your physical self, what it requires to stay well, to be well? So exercise, eating right, drinking water, these are essential components to making choices that serve your physical self. So now let's talk about emotional and spiritual self. And I don't know about you, but sometimes those are the ones that will go first, right? Especially in our culture, we're a culture of doers. We want to make things happen, especially as entrepreneurs. So how many people just say, I could just Zoom all day and then maybe fit a quick workout in, and I feel like I'm a success? Anyone? Yeah, absolutely. However, there are two more selves that you want to address so that you could be well-rounded. So when you're connecting, you are connecting your authentic self and allowing others to be their authentic selves. Right, Catherine? Can I get an amen? Amen, right? Okay. So what that looks like is your spiritual self, your higher self, how you're connecting to that which is greater. Bless you, Brian. So your spiritual self, you want to really focus in. Am I going to read some books on spirituality? Am I going to jump in and dive into the religion that I feel inspired to choose today? Am I going to go to church online? Am I going to watch some motivational videos that will fuel my spirit? Am I going to read the Bible? Am I going to pray? Put that on your action step list, and it's as valuable as the other lists that you have going on. And I say that because I want you to see that all four of yourselves are on this equal playing field in terms of action steps. That's all I'm saying right now. So, and then we're going to talk your emotional self. How do you make choices to serve your emotional self? Your emotional self is your relationships. First and foremost, your relationship with yourself. Who are you being today? Where's your self-esteem meter at? What does that look like for you? How am I showing up? Am I showing up enthusiastic? Am I showing up confident? Am I showing up present? And presence is the most clear way to show you how you're showing up for your emotional self. If you are capable of being present right here in this moment, listening to me talk about this, not having any clutter come into your mind, and you are really engaged, that's a sure tell, like a telltale sign. I never can say that correctly. That you are 100%, you have like focused and really healthy in your emotional self right now. Being present, it's the biggest factor. I see Jennifer like saying, yep, 100%. Absolutely. I'm glad people are agreeing. I see the nods. Okay. So those are the working definitions for your 4 selves, and then you choose action steps each week to fuel those selves. And it doesn't have to look like an hour a day, guys. It's not like your ego says, okay, I'm going to work out an hour a day today, and then I'm going to pray for an hour a day, and I'm going to read my scripture too and take notes. And, and then I'm going to Zoom at least, another 10 and a half hours so that I can really, connect well with people and grow my business. And then, I'm going to, what's the last one that I said? And then, I'm going to call all my friends and say, I love you and appreciate you. No, it doesn't look like that. It looks like measurable goals every day to fuel yourself. So write a list for yourself. What is going to serve my spiritual self today? I'm going to do a brain dump. Connect it with gratitude. I'm going to say, God, make me the woman that you want me to be today. God, make me help me to show up in my relationships as you would have me show up today. It's simple. Make me the mom that you want me to be today. Because I don't know sometimes. You don't know. So for me, that's how I show up spiritually. That's how I show up for my spiritual self. And there's the 3 words I show up as, and I'm going to share a little bit more about this, and people who have worked with me know I'm all about the 3 words. So when I show up for my spiritual self, I am discerning, I am present, and I am joyful. That is who I am. And so those are the 3 words. So for my spiritual self, when I show up and make choices that serve my spiritual self each day, that is who I show up as. And then that connects to all my other selves, my 3 other selves. So let's go down what that looks like. Who am I being in my health? And I think, personal testimony is probably the highest connectivity you could possibly get. So I'm just going to get really transparent with you guys. When I wake up and I say, okay, I'm going to eat my sprouted grain toast with some sun butter on it with my cup of coffee with almond milk, versus I'm going to eat the pizza left over from last night for dinner. I am showing up for myself and say, this choice serves me. And how do I feel afterwards? How do I feel when I fill up my giant water bottle that you can't see because of my beautiful virtual background? How, when I do that, I'm showing up and I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling well. I'm feeling, goal oriented. That's who I'm showing up as when I make those health choices that serve me. When I get on my Fit On app. Fit On's a great choice, by the way. I see Catherine, maybe she knows it. I'm sure she does. Fit On, oh my gosh, little plug, shameless plug, exponentially changed how I work out. Fit On app. I discovered it during the COVID days. Check it out. However, that's when I'm showing up for my physical self, when I'm making good health choices, when I'm eating well, drinking the water, doing those things that serve me, but serve who I'm being. It's really about who you're being in every situation when you're making choices to serve your 4 selves. So physical, spiritual. So let's go to, how am I serving myself emotionally? How am I making choices that serve my emotional self? Show up in my relationships. I show up open-minded. I show up compassionate. I show up as inspiring. And that's how I choose to show up. And this is not just on the screen. This is my identity. This is who I choose to be in my intimate relationships, with those personal people that I've called to, hold me accountable and who love me well in my life. The people that I get to network with on that closer circle, who know my personal life, Brian, Michael, Mike Biger, there's so many people on here that I love and really enjoy seeing, but those people, like, pouring into them. But here's the other kicker, guys. When you pour into others in your relationship world, what also you must do to fuel your emotional self is allow them to pour into you. You must allow them to speak life into you and give you compliments and allow for that to happen, because both are equally as important to fueling your emotional self, to taking care of yourself well, and then allowing others to take care of you too. These are equally as important. So how I show up for my self-esteem, I have, how I say when I show up, I'm a powerful influencer of people. That's who I am. I am a powerful connector, and I'm a master relationship builder. And I say that because it reminds me of that is who I am, and that is how I get to help others. Because ultimately you wake up, you go game on. Game on. For me, it's game on. Am I playing offense or defense with my 3 little boys? But it's also game on in your work world, game on in your personal life. How are you going to show up for yourself? So, and then lastly, your intellectual self, which is one that I thoroughly enjoy, because your intellectual self, how you break free from the sales pitch, how you apply all your authenticity from taking care of your other 3 selves. They're all interconnected. So if you're showing up well in your other 3 selves, your business life will transform. It will. Just like how we've been all in other Zoom groups together. We have, Brian has said, let's break free from the sales pitch. Let's be our authentic selves. Let's show up with just layman's terms in words of how we get to help others. And it just creates a shift for us. And it increases our connectivity. And ultimately, we want to create that culture of connectivity. It is about giving, and it is about serving based on who you are, not the service you provide. Because then the service that you provide will become exponentially more attractive when you're becoming that agent of authenticity. So that's what it's about. So that's a little bit about your 4 selves and how to decide. So first of all, let's recap. 4 selves: intellectual self, your spiritual self, your emotional self. What did I say? Spiritual, emotional, physical, and intellectual self. And how you show up in each of those roles. Because ultimately, when you decide who you want to be in each of those roles, that's where the action will take place. So decide, pick an action step for each one of those. Today, I'm going to do one-on-ones with, Catherine, Ankur, and Ellen. That's my intellectual self step today. I'm going to see if they would like to do a free coaching session and offer that to them. Because I want to see, how we can strategize through creative, inspired ways to level them up in their business. So emotional self, I'm going to give a friend a call that said on my Facebook wall, I haven't talked to you, I miss you. I'm going to call them, because that's inspiring for both of us. And I know you guys feel that when you talk about an old friend that you haven't talked to for a while. You feel it. It feels so good. It boosts your self-esteem, creates this high connectivity in your relationship, self. Physical self. I did a fit on workout already this morning in this dress, 10 minutes before your meeting at 8 a.m., Brian. Okay. So, I'm just telling you, choose something for yourself, how you're going to show up for your physical self. It does not have to be a certain amount of time. Break free from that expectation. All I want you to do is show up for each one of yourselves. I think spiritual, getting into my real Bible for me, not just the phone Bible. This is easy. It feels different when you're tangibly holding something. For me, it makes a big difference. So just opening that up. I always open up to duty to live in the light. Duty to live in the light. And it just brings me back to who I want to be when it comes to my spiritual self. So that is a recap of your 4 selves. So if you have any questions, if you want to, say this has helped you, or, maybe just bring up your action step for the week. This is the time where we can really share. Oh my gosh, Brian. That's epic. Anyone have any questions, comments? Are you feeling empowered?
Absolutely. You're amazing.
If I may.
My head is like, you just exploded my head with such knowledge. It's like, Oh my God, it's like fireworks just went off my brain. So thank you.
And that was only 20 minutes. Imagine when you do the free coaching
Oh
call.
my
It
God.
literally blew me away. I left there with so much knowledge and I felt so empowered. I was like, oh my God, I need more of her in my life.
Oh my God.
Bridget, would you say that the 4 steps are intention, conscious intention?
What would you want me to say? They are, absolutely. They're conscious intention. Absolutely.
And then by putting them into action, they become some subconscious intention.
Completely agree with that. Yes, and that's what you ultimately want.
Great presentation. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Hey, Bridget, I really enjoyed what you said. It was beautiful and I totally relate to everything. And the essential thing that I liked the most was being present. And I think we forget too often. So if you want to reach a higher level, you got to be present in that moment. And I love that. I loved everything. Very uplifting. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad, because that's always the goal. All right.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
I really enjoyed it too, Bridget. And the concept of intellectual, spiritual, physical, all 4 of them. I think I'm forgetting one, but all 4 of them. So the idea for you, I mean, you're saying, not necessarily put an hour in this, an hour in that, because you hit all 4 every single day, and that should kind of help you. And I'm definitely going to reach out to you, for that free session. So that sounds awesome. I appreciate the offer. And yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that helped you. Thank you. Anyone else have any thoughts?
I do.
Please.
I love your focus on like small sustainable steps in each area, because things can seem overwhelming when we try to tackle something too big. So I really believe in that kind of one little thing at a time. So love that.
Thank you, Jen. That means a lot coming from you as a coach. You guys are so awesome. If I could just capture Mike Feiger telling me that it just mind blown, like that was the best testimonial ever. Like that was epic. I'm saying epic all the time and just thinking of Brian Daly. But the reality is I was thinking about this, and I'd love to share this with you just on the intellectual front, that, when people ask you what the best referral is, the best referral is a testimonial. So get out there and do some one-on-ones, because the best referral is a testimonial. It's not who you think you should be connecting with,
Well, the reason why I felt like it was like an explosion, because it started in my stomach when I started hearing you and went up to my chest, and all of a sudden it's just like, whew. So it was a visual feeling, it was amazing. So I had to express that. Thank you. It was like, I never experienced that before. That was great.
That's so awesome.
So I loved it. Thank you, Bridget. The thought of intention followed by the action step is so powerful, and that's the way to have it done. And I just want to talk about the distinction between an intention and an expectation, because we really want to let go of expectations. So your intention is ultimately the goal. What is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that you want to have happen? So let's say your intention is that you are going to exercise for 30 minutes today. But you might have an expectation of what that looks like I'm going to jog around the block for 30 minutes or whatever it is. But it's raining. So your expectation gets blown up and you just stop there and your intention doesn't happen. Or what if you let go of expectation of what it looks like and you just hold on to the intention of exercising? That could look like you end up exercising in your house to a video on TV. But when you have the expectation, your mind is like this. So it's very limiting. If you have an expectation, you have just one thing you're looking at and that's it. But when you let go of the expectation and you hold on to that intention, the possibilities open up for you to have that intention happen in many different ways.
100%. Well said.
Also,
Absolutely.
Wow.
I never, from a sales point of view, I never have an expectation. And if I don't have an expectation, I'm never disappointed, ever. Because I didn't go in there with any preconceived idea of what's going to happen. I just let it flow, you know?
Absolutely.
Awesome. I just wanted to make a quick comment, and I hate to go after Catherine because that's still kind of resonating and rolling around. I want to say that these calls, Bridget, Catherine, many others, have impacted my life forever. And I don't want to, mind blowing, all that other stuff. I don't want it to come across like an insincere accolade. It really is. I mean, there are times throughout the day that I think about things that you have said and done. And my only question is, how did you get so wise to be so young to get so wise, is what I want to know. So anyway.
That's my question.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing your wisdom with us.
Oh, of course, Brian. We all have the areas that we're gifted in to share with the world. And that's the answer, Brian. You have your areas that you're gifted in. We all have these areas, and that's just how we get to show up.
I also have a comment. I think a lot of us probably already do that, but you may not know. A lot of you can combine from two selves together. For example, you can do some physical activity, but also with the emotion there. So do some physical activity with your loved one. So you actually are able to take care of the two selves there at the same time. So try to think of that way to fully get yourself engaged.
Brilliant, Frida. Do some hybrid selves. I love it. This woman's so forward thinking. 100% amazing. Thank you, Frida. Thank you for sharing that.
Hey, Britt, I just wanted to add one thing, and kind of dovetailing on what Catherine was saying too. Like every day we've got to be able to go with the flow, not have the expectations, right? But what's so important too is to have the vision. And this is what I'm really trying to hone in on in my life, is having the vision that is so clear for what I want, where I want to be, that I don't even have to worry about the how, because that's going to fill in. And I'm going to fully expect to have the shifts or have to kind of jump through a few hoops to make it happen. But that's just it, is not to beat ourselves down if we have to take the detour, or if the how isn't really what we expected it to be. And I can make a quick analogy. It's like, look, let's say you wanted to bake a cake, and you're going to love this cake and your whole family's going to love it, and you really want to do it, and you go to bake the cake and you realize you've got all the ingredients, but wait, you're missing an egg. Okay, so what do? Do you just add more butter? Do you just add more sugar? No, you're going to find out that your cake is going to be a disaster. You're going to have to stop what you're doing. You're going to have to go to the store. You're going to have to get the eggs, take the time to go do that, and then come back to your goal. But that's the thing. Do we make it to the store and make it back home and still make the cake? Or do we get sidetracked in between? So I think that's the importance of really focusing on a crystal clear vision. And without that, it's easy to get pushed from side to side. But what you're talking about is absolutely the right formula for making it there. Okay.
And the vision is important, but a lot of people will always say why. If the vision doesn't come true, they say why. I don't think the word is why. I think the word is what. What am I supposed to learn from me not fulfilling that vision? So, and when I say what am I supposed to learn about that other person? Because people go, why? Why am I not succeeding in what I'm supposed to do? That's because you're crying. Stop crying and ask how am I going to learn to be better instead of bitter?
Can I just add a closing comment about that? I agree. It's actually all those questions. It's the who are you being? It's the what am I doing? It's the why am I doing it? It's the how do I make this happen? It's all of those questions. And that's why it's so important to always have someone in your life who's going to hold you accountable to those goals based on your vision, who's going to support you in making that happen and stretch you to make sure it happens. And so we all need to have someone in our lives like that always. So thank you so much for joining me today on the Health and Wellness Connection. We want to honor everyone's time. It's 1 p.m. And thank you, Michael, so much for having me come and share with all of you today. Thank you so much.
No need to thank me. We all owe you a debt of gratitude for all you've done. Thank you so much.
See what you did in my head? Just look at my background. Now you did that to me.
I love it. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great weekend, everybody.
You guys, thank you so much.